Episode 19. The End of What Was. September 1993. Autumn begins to settle over Tässi. The first signs appear quietly, leaves turning, air cooling, mornings growing sharper. The season is changing once again. But this time, it is not just the land. At the edge of the village, the old kolkhoz mill begins to come down. Day after day, villagers gather to watch, some out of curiosity, some out of habit, some, perhaps, to see an ending with their own eyes. The machines move slowly, deliberately. Walls that once held years of work begin to crack and fall. For many, the place carries little love. It was part of a system that demanded much and gave little back. And yet, it was part of life. Now, piece by piece, it disappears. Peeter watches too, not just as a farmer, but as someone who understands what it means to let go of something that wants to find everything. He makes a decision. If the old structures no longer serve a purpose, they should not remain. Together with Arvo, he begins clearing his own yard, removing a worn metal shelter once used for bale storage, pulling apart old pallets and broken frames. In their place, something new begins to take form. A larger silage bunker, stronger, permanent. Built not from what was available, but from what is needed. Even the materials tell the story. Concrete from the demolished mill finds its way into new foundations. The past, reshaped into something useful. Elsewhere on the farm, life continues forward. The first sheep are sheared. Soft wool, warm and raw, is carried to Lise Meggy's workshop. She works with quiet focus, hopeful that the first finished goods will be ready before winter arrives. The harvest season nears its end. The last fields stand ready, waiting for the final passes. And to keep pace, new equipment arrives. A portrait forage wagon, built to handle the growing scale of work. Sunday, 2nd of September, 1993. The old is leaving. The new is already here.
Good morning, wonderful farming people, and welcome back to Vintage Survival Estonia, and I think it's episode 19. So yeah, as you saw, that field 12, that is done, and quite a few things have been happening here now. So let's go through of those a little bit. And I actually did do that field by myself, so the guys could have a little bit of vacation. So, and we are steady on that 57,000, which is really good. And I purchased the that wagon there, that forage wagon. It wasn't the thing that I wanted. I wanted to have this guy. Hang on, it was this forced grit here. It was for 45,000 liters, but yeah, it didn't. This forage harvester and also the fourth grit one, they didn't quite work with that. I don't know what the trigger is quite small on that trailer, so I probably need to wait on update. But I would really like that to have it. Let's take a look here while that's warming up. So here's a little extra which I collect outside of the bunker. That was really big job, really big job. So we have here 67,000, and I think I'm gonna put those two fields also, this field 16 and 14 over on this guy. Hopefully they will fit. But anyways, I think so. And then we got this also, this new milk tanker, 5,000 liters. I think that works pretty good. You can take it out of the you know, trailer, and yeah, but it has to be empty. So this lot, and we got the silage bunker here now, decent one, and because the biggest thing on the area now, as you saw on the beginning, the dismantling of that old kolkhoz grain mill has started, so that is why there's so much rubble and and gravel and everything. So we could just pick up their stuff that we needed, and it's not perfect cement, but you know, I think we spent like 9,000 or something like that on here. And how much was it? It was so big job that it took like in real life many days. 654,000. I think this is the lottery ticket, and 100% win. Yeah. So the thing on the list, at least from the start, is now sunflowers. They are going to the Tom's grain mill, oil mill, and that thing we need to do now. Lower. Oh, it's lowered quite high. Yeah, we need to go to the store with this because of service, and also get the corn header for this guy. And we are running out of fuel. Hopefully I will remember to fill it up. And I told Arvo that he would come to the store, or maybe here on that crossroads, and go it there, and I'll walk back at the farm and get the trailer ready and start hauling the sunflowers. And the issue with these tractors, that the bale shed especially, that is so in bad condition that will collapse any day. So that is going to be dismantled. We can take a look of the what is it called, building site or demolition site on the mill, and I talked to the company there, and they will come also to our farm at the same go, so we can, you know, get rid of that bale shed. And new one is already ordered, but that is going to take our money again back to zero, I think. And then we will probably dismantle a couple of other things. And as you saw, we already took down the metal shed, which was and where the new bunker silo is. So yeah, and the pallets which were there, so they were taken away also. And let me see here. Yeah, quite a lot of stuff. I bought also 8 pieces of goats and sheep more. So yeah, and for the winter, because winter is coming, and I really like this, long season. As you can see here on the leaves of the trees, they just go so nicely, gradual. So winter is coming, and people are actually starting to fill up the firewood warehouses that they have. Those deliveries has been going on quite nicely. So I have delivered 2 times. It was like 12,500, something like that. Yeah, and I talked to that forestry project that I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with Noah, who lives actually. Let's just jump out. Who's there? Morning. Yeah, so Noah lives there. Where is it? There. And it was last year, I think. We had a little cookout and spent some time together, and drinking vodka and things like that. And he mentioned that he has a dream kind of make a sawmill or little things like that, because he's already done some woodworking there. So I told then I remembered that near vaguely that he mentioned about that, and I talked to him then. Oh, those bores. Yeah, so I talked to him about that, and my idea that I will get rid of a lot of trees, and he's kind of excited. He actually has in mind this kind of small saw, which they can make, which we he can make planks and wood beams and work that raw wood that we could deliver. So I kind of promised him that I would make him his stock, full. So no, don't do that. Let's go and check out the site here. It's pretty awesome. And yeah, that's one thing what quite a lot of would help our income thingies. And yeah, and the one thing was Ilves brothers are now, they are doing pretty good. So they are, paying, and actually paid all the wheat that they owed us. They paid it out 22,400. So that was really good. But I also delivered more oats to there. So another 7K, 7.7K is going. Or in the invoices how they owe us. But yeah, look at this. Yeah, pretty sweet there. It has totally been dismantled. I think it's Sunday today. Nobody's here. Yeah, we need to. We have, yeah, this gravel we have got from here, and pretty bare. Kind of a one era came to an end. Yeah, but I think they are continuing, probably dismantling these, and yeah, and that the small crane is, which I think it's coming to our plot after this, and or I don't know how they're gonna do with it. It's pretty quite small, you know, job. So get that. Probably we'll get rid of that old building, which is you know, that where the governor used to live in the Soviet era. So who ran the place, and it's so worn down that it just takes space from the farm. So I'm getting rid of that also. So I believe these buildings will go, these warehouses. I'm not sure, because there is this Finnish really big crane and baking company coming here. But these buildings are not to be touched. These are, you know, people living here. And one probably would be this. I think so. And I don't know how they're going to take the fences away, or we'll see. We'll see what they're going to do. But anyway, that was pretty big event in the village. Yeah, quite kind of I don't know how to feel about it. See, it's kind of a sad thing, and I don't know, sad or not. But I will go now and ask about the header, where it is, and I will drive to the crossroads to our farm, and Arvo can start from there, and I will jump into the tractor and start hauling that sunflower to Tam's mill. So let's see how that goes. Hello, Kati. All right, I called Arvo, but he was busy, and but he told that he will inform Tonu, and he will go to the start the sunflower harvest. That's good to have 2 employees. So these I bought. This was like hang on, what was it? It wasn't too bad. Old train wheels, something like maybe 5,500. And also that grain corn header was 5,500, and I serviced the harvester 3,700, and a couple of hundred worth of fuel went in that. So what should we pick today? I think we're gonna get with the Valmet. Yeah, it's a little bit faster, but one thing is now the trailer. What trailer will we get? Because everything is here. God damn, we don't have any trailers. That one. Well, okay, we will lift that away. That tank here on the ground. And yeah, I have the old one, and also I added weight here on this tractor, so this is pretty much maximum weight now on the front and on the tires, and then with the compactor it worked pretty well. So we can lift milk tanks. Yeah, and obviously I sold the old forage trailer and the old milk trailer, away so we can take these just wobbles a lot because they're there. Let's just put the camper here. Yeah. Just to wait. It takes 5,000 liters, so we'll just wait that it will, you know, we have milk for that much. But now we have so much feed that I could, you know, start getting a little bit more of those animals. That would be a step forward. But I don't know. Or we will just let them be and produce because, yeah, we need to get the money on the orchard thing. There has been a little bit development on that part also. So now we gonna customer put the sides back on here. 10,000. What's that? Oh yeah. Like just that. This is what we use. Like 10,000 is pretty good. Oh, whoa. Yeah, that thing. Also, when they come to dismantle, I think me and Walter we will just put all sorts of stuff, clean up the yard at the same time, and for example, that old silo we will get rid of, and you know, get cleaning. And I'm a little bit annoyed of the yard, you know, because all these it's so worn out and all these potholes are all over the place. So maybe we will just, you know, spread some gravel or something here. Yeah, that's probably on those places as like here, which we are driving a lot, so it's a little bit annoying to bounce around in the cab all the time, and it's like boom. I don't. Yeah, that's probably the best. And we could cut down that tree and we can have other silo here if we want to still go further with that silage production. But it's really good money. But we need to be quite more efficient with that. Because that takes 38,000 liters that forage wagon, but I don't know. But it's pretty good that it has a pickup also, so we could use it just to get the loose straw. And yeah, the baler is actually waiting, and that one I need to buy because I promised. Yeah, but it didn't go as planned with that thing, that the trigger thing, and I would really like to get this Ford script mower because it's so much faster than that one we had, that old Russian model. Or I don't think was it his Polish or what. But yeah, and by the way, yeah, the first wool pallet has gone to the Maggie. She's able to work on that already. And by the way, Ilves paid also Maggie their debt, so 8,450. So she has now in good mood, and you know, she has you know, her welfare is secured. That is a really good thing. And the roadside sell point is somewhat decent. There was I delivered one load and it was still 12,500, so not complaining. not complaining. And that fiberglass milk tank, that wasn't too expensive either. It was 3,680, so pretty sweet. And I sold one load of that, so it basically paid itself back because it took 5,000 liters, and we got 3,860 on that milk. So pretty awesome stuff. And I also filled the cows for TMR, and this is one job. We need to spray these. I think I'm gonna just the weed. I think I'm gonna leave the weeds through the winter, but we need to spray one layer of fertilizer on these two fields. Yeah, because I think the weed will probably die on, hopefully. I don't know. But I think I will do that on spring. Okay, I see. Gone already? Oh, he's over there already. Damn, Tomo, you are really efficient. Yeah, and this will be quite a nice amount of cash. This sunflower, and especially for the Ilves brothers, they will get a huge amount of cash on the oil, and the canola oil is like liquid gold to them. And they have been spraying a lot on their fields. I saw them at the store, and Kari was filling up their pickup and, with the fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, these bottles. Yeah, that was pretty serious amount. Yeah, this is gonna take quite a while, but yeah, it's okay. Because it's money. These are all good. Yeah, let's see. Wow, that is good. Yeah, and maybe we need to do something about this field. I think I will. I don't know what to put. What was the plan? I can't remember what to place or plant here next year. We'll see. And yeah, it is starting to be end of the season, and then we will have a little cookout, and after the harvest is done, and yeah, have a little party and reward my workers before the next project, and the forestry thing will go forward. And also, yeah, we are pretty full with those charcoals now. They need to, but I just need to wait a little bit for more better price. And it's like winter time. It's like 1,600 kroons per pallet. So I would really like to wait that far. But yeah, but it's coming. So that money is probably really good for starting the orchard and greenhouse things. There has been quite a lot of improvements already. We have new packaging on our apple juice, and actually apples are now on smaller cardboard boxes, so they will They will last better. Yeah, what else do I have on my list? Oh, some space here. Let's see how Toro is doing. He's quite really good. Really good harvest operator. Young guy. Does a great job. And yeah, that all sort of little project that we have going on. The demolition site gives us quite a nice amount of raw materials for every little thing. I don't know what that we're doing because they were happy that just to get rid of that. And yeah, the forage wagon was actually 15k, so that was. And one thing is, I needed to upgrade this valve method. We needed to have this tow device here. It's that part here. It kind of otherwise, if we don't have this tow device, it hooks up on there, that hook. So this gives a little bit more space for the forage wagon, so it works really good after this. But it was 1500, this tow device. But yeah, it needed to be done, and this has been working really well. Yeah. And yeah, 699 liters, 699,000 liters, and 254 plus was the silage harvest on that big field, and it was the biggest one ever that we made. And now the two those two little fields just feel they won't take long, but I hope they will fit on the smaller one, and when we get those emptied, I will take the tops away somewhere. And yeah, we probably would. The best thing is to build another bunker or something like that. Yeah, but I'm not sure will I place that kind of a drive-through bunker, or look at those hogs. Actually, funny thing is, these hogs in Estonia are pretty realistic, because I can tell you a story. My father, rest in peace, he used to hunt, do hunting with the bow. So there's quite a bit of limitations here in Finland with what kind of a game you can hunt with the bow. So in Estonia, the bow hunting of wild hogs or boars, that is illegal. So they made a trip in Estonia and hunted those wild boars here. So I don't know, maybe it has changed now, but back in the day it was totally fine. Every year he made a trip here, and did it in real life. Yeah, I think we'll continue this now, and let's see how much money is coming, and how much do we get to the mill, and things are moving forward. I think we probably will start chopping that, or Arvo can start chopping those two other smaller grass fields maybe. So let's see, is it afternoon, being back or what, tomorrow, or I don't know. Loosey-goosey. We're doing loosey-goosey and enjoying nice autumn weather. Okie dokie, guys. This year's harvest is going to be pretty much done soon. Yeah, I've been working on that field 14 that you can see on the map at the same time with this sunflower harvest, and I don't know, it's probably pretty good yield. This is just the last trip we're gonna get. Tomu has been driving the harvester the whole time, so yeah, the windmill is full, and also a couple of loads already in the Ilves Brothers silo. So just need to do some calculations what the total is, and then what add to the queue the debt that Ilves Brothers has for us and Maggie. This is going halfway, half and half. Okay, he went home. Yeah, so the last load. And I don't know what this is the October, and what else? We are starting to prepare for winter and all of those projects. I think the next major thing is probably starting that forestry project and things like that, and also maybe we could do some foundation or build those gardens and all things, but we'll see. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode.
The largest silage operation in the farm's history continues. Load after load, the bunker fills, more than Peter has ever produced before. With improved machinery, the work changes. Fields that once felt endless now seem smaller, more manageable. But even as efficiency grows, new plans take shape. Peter looks back toward the forest. Another clearing, another peat extraction site. If time allows before winter. On the farmyard, change comes quickly. Old structures fall with surprising ease. The worn bale shelter and the main building are dismantled, making way for something new. In their place, a modern bale storage arrives, delivered in sections, assembled faster than anyone expected. At the same time, orders begin to return. Firewood stacks shrink as deliveries leave the yard. The first charcoal shipments follow. For the first time in a long while, Peter allows himself to expect something more than survival. Something better. Episode 20 begins. Subscribe to the channel and get notified.